Hey everyone, I'm photographer and filmmaker TK North. In this video, we're talking all about focal length, understanding exactly what it is and when we should use different lenses. Of course, it's possible to take good photos with pretty much any piece of equipment. However, the larger the range of different focal lengths you have available to you in your kit bag, the greater your photographic options are going to be. So when you understand how focal lengths work and which focal lengths are best for anything from portrait to landscape photography, it not only gives you a little bit of artistic freedom and different options, you also get the ability to really specialize in your craft. For any golfers out there, the perfect analogy is like deciding which golf club to use depending on what shot you're going to take. Like picking the right club, matching your focal length to your desired angle of view is a really important skill that is going to allow you to take the best possible photos in varying situations and conditions. So understanding exactly what focal length is and what it isn't. So when you use a camera lens with a short focal length, for example 15 or 16 millimeters, it's going to give you a wider angle of view. When you use a longer focal length, say 200 millimeters, it's going to give you a much more narrow, more zoomed in angle of view. Focal length is usually measured and described in millimeters. This is because more technically, focal length is the optical distance from the point where the light meets inside the lens to the camera's sensor. Yes, a longer focal length will give you a more zoomed in image, but when we think of camera phones or compact cameras, sometimes they will say digital zoom. Now, digital zoom is not actually changing your focal length. This is actually just cropping in on an image to make it seem larger. So to summarize, optical focal length is measured in millimeters and is going to tell us how wide or how tight a shot is going to be. That's the more technical side. Let's jump into the more practical side, the prime lens directive. So there are many different lenses geared towards different uses and looks. But when it does come to owning your knowledge and skill with just one focal length, prime lenses create the best training ground. So prime lenses have a fixed focal length. That means you're locked into shooting at a single focal length. No zooming, no magnification. As professionals, we often give out the tip for people to pick one prime lens, a focal length you're comfortable with or familiar with, and practice shooting for a while just on that one focal length. When we have zoom lenses, it can be really tempting just to zoom in, but when you're using a prime lens, this really does force you to not only move around, but definitely get a bit creative and change your point of view as well. So getting out there on the street or wherever your curiosity takes you and just using a single focal length can be such a great way to really train your eye and what you're seeing as a photographer. For me, I still love shooting at 50 millimeters. I will go out shooting street photography for hours and just shoot at 50 millimeter, move around and get creative. The type of lenses and focal length that you do choose really will help portray your style and even influence the way you shoot. As your style develops, this can be a great time not only to change your perspective, but maybe experiment with different focal lengths. It's really important to understand the benefits of different focal lengths so you can start to build your own utility belt of different lenses for more complex shoots and different varying locations. Changing focal lengths can really change the game. So photographing something like a live event is such a great way to learn how different focal lengths work and when you should use them. You'll be moving around the event, looking for different opportunities, different angles, and sometimes you'll have to change focal lengths to really make the best of a different opportunity. This is why I think weddings are such a great experience builder, because you will understand different lenses and when you may want to use them. You really have to know what exactly you're trying to shoot and which lens is going to best facilitate you to be able to shoot that. An example here for me, when I often shoot weddings, I'll largely stick to 3 lenses. That'll be a wider lens, which is sometimes a prime 24 or a 15 to 35 millimeter lens. I will have my 50 millimeter prime and then a longer lens such as an 85 or a 70 to 200. To help guide your focal length discovery, here's a list of common lenses their focal lengths, and what sort of photography they might be best for. So fisheye lenses, this is anywhere from say 7 to 16 millimeters. These lenses go very wide and produce more of a circular image that really bend or distort at the edges. This is more a creative look, but can be great for capturing wide cityscapes or bending a horizon line. Then you've got wide angle lenses, which can be anywhere from 10 to say 35 or 42 millimeters. These lenses are perfect for capturing a broad landscape or a large group photo. Next, we have our more standard lenses. So this can be prime lenses, say 50, 85, or even 100 millimeters. So these are go-to lenses for portraits, live event photography, weddings, and still lifes. Then we have telephoto lenses, which can be anywhere from 100 millimeters all the way up to 800 millimeters. These lenses can capture subject hundreds of feet or meters away, but due to the range, they have a narrow field of view and shoot in a more shallow depth of field. So there are many other specialty lenses, including tilt shift lenses, macro lenses. Then we obviously have zoom lenses, allowing you to shoot at multiple focal lengths. But this list is a really good place to start for you to start building your utility belt of lenses. All right, that's the more technical side. Now it's time for you to get out there and explore which lenses are going to suit you and your photography style. Remember, practice, practice, practice. Keep experimenting and then keep experimenting. This is the best way to learn. All right, that's it from me. Make sure you check out my other videos with Adobe, understanding aperture and shutter speed. I'm TK North. Thanks so much for watching.